This week on TGC News, new guns, and the new GunCon panel announcement you've been waiting for. Or something. Welcome back to another episode of the Gun Collective News. I'm John Patton, and if you can strip a Glock faster than the ATF's own expert, leave a comment with a funny nickname for that guy down below. Now, how's about some positive gun industry news? Constitutional or permitless carry is spreading across the U.S. with 2 more states changing things up for the better. First, Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry signed it into place last week, and then South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster did the same thing on Thursday. That marks the 28th and 29th states to do so, meaning over half of the United States currently allows for some level of permitless carry. Shout out to GunFacts for this map. It looks fantastic, showing that the Northeast is still overrun by anti-freedom douchebags. I fear my home state of PA will fall into that category in the not-so-distant future, but for now, let's hope the number 30 state goes to permitless carry very soon. That would be rad. Also, in positive news, C&H Precision is bragging about breaking new ground on a new facility in a town called Richmond Hill, Georgia, which is right outside of Savannah. If you are not aware, they are most well known for optic plates and are now offering a line of optics that eliminates the need for their own optic mounting plates. Options are always a good thing, I suppose. I don't know a ton about them otherwise, but it's rad to see companies growing even when the industry as a whole is a bit on the slow side right now. But I think it perhaps comes down to the fact that we as a community picked up millions of new gun owners in recent years, and they kind of all need accessories. Speaking of accessories, how's about some love for this week's sponsor, Woox? The new Gladiator from Woox is the way to take your Mossberg shotgun from this to this. The stock and forend are both made from American walnut and feature nice texturing all around to get that extra grip. The forend also has M-lock slots, while the rear end can be had in either a full stock or a bird's head style grip. And it's now available for the Remington 870 platform. To go from yawn to whoa, head over to wooxstore.com and use TGC10 at checkout. Anyway, Sig is back in the news this week with 2 new firearms for us. First is the 1911 called the 1911 X Full, so a full-size X-Series gun. That basically means they gave it a flat-face trigger, some fancy cuts on the slide, and it's optic ready. It's only available in 45 ACP currently and comes with a 5-inch barrel, 8-round mags, and G10 grips. Now, SIG doesn't list prices on their website because they hate you, but I did some digging and it's looking like $1,500 is where this thing is going to land. All I can think is that the 1911 market as a whole is insane. You can get one for like $400 imported from Turkey, and then you could spend like 10 grand on one hand fit by a master gunsmith that functionally accomplishes the exact same thing. It doesn't. They put lead down range. I suppose options are always a good thing, though. Also new from SIG this week is a version of the MCX called the Regulator. This one had a bunch of the social media lights upset and calling it one of the ugliest guns they've ever seen. I really don't think it looks that bad. What I find fascinating is that this isn't a new concept. We've seen variations on this sort of thing, this sort of like ranch rifle, AR-15 combo, whatever it is. We've seen that for a few years. In recent times, Foxtrot Mike and Fightlight are the ones that sort of come to mind on that. Essentially, this is an MCX that has had the trigger group moved rearward, the pistol grip chopped off, and a shotgun stock for mag pull added to the back end. There are 2 versions, the 5.56 with a 16-inch barrel and 10-round mags, and the 7.62 39 setup with the same thing. It's the same, just different caliber. The promo video for this is full of farmers and ranchers and hardworking people, but what I find funny is that this gun is no different functionally than the regular MCX, like that 1911. Of course, some folks prefer a more traditional look and form factor, which I can certainly appreciate, but the pandering, it's kind of humorous. Also, shout out to no one in that promo video being able to get a good cheek weld because it's a drop stock meant for a shotgun and it needs a riser for proper use with an optic. That's always funny. Now, again, Sig doesn't list prices because I hate you, but I've seen retail numbers between $300 and $3,500. That is way too much in my opinion, but I still want to shoot one. And I don't really have any other information, but this is the Bodyguard 2.0 from Smith & Wesson that has been leaked in the USCCA magazine. Looks like a shield. That's all I got this week on that one. Moving on. Also in the news this week is Weatherby. They've been sort of making an effort to put together more modern guns, and they've just released a new line of shotguns called Sorix, S-O-R-I-X. The claims to fame here are the oversized controls, a slotted receiver that allows you to swap the charging handle to the left side, and reverse the safety for wrong-handed folks. It also has a competition cut receiver, which essentially means bigger loading and ejection ports. And at the core, it's still an inertia-driven system available in 12-gauge 3 and 3.5-inch chambers and 20-gauge 3-inch chambers as well. They also say that you can easily add mag tube extensions, and it uses Benelli Cryo Plus choke tubes, so there's a bunch of those out there already, which is cool. Pricing is right at $1,500 across all three camo patterns, which is pretty competitive, especially with that list of features. Now, I am a self-admitted Beretta semi-auto snob. I've got like 4 of them over here. However, I've shot some inertia guns that are great, and it appears that this could be one that ends up on that list too. I'd love to hear from you guys down in the comments on this one. Would you grab this over other options out there? Where do you stand on a Weatherby shotgun right now? It looks cool. Sure, yeah. And while you're typing out those thoughts, I'm going to make another GunCon announcement. Let's talk about the live stream panels. For those of you that don't know, every year we have Q&A panels that we broadcast live, not just here on TGC, but on a bunch of different other channels as well. And this year we have this lineup, you guys. This is a great lineup this year. By popular demand, we are doing a 2A panel this year. The panelists for that one include Jared from Guns and Gadgets, Anthony from Armed Scholar, Paul from Legally Armed America, Diana Muller from the DC Project, Eric Pratt from GOA, and you guys are the OG TGC guys, the triumphant return of Adam Kraut from the Second Amendment Foundation. He will be there.
Crush? Crush! Crush!
But
Then we have our Next Gen Creator panel that has Tactical Considerations, Got Gamage, Tactical Advisor, Weapon Vault, Luke from TFB TV, and Tactical Santi. That's such a good lineup so far. Like, there's so many cool people. I might add a few folks here and there as we get closer to the event. I mean, I added folks at the event last year. After that, we have the Elite Creator panel. This is the guys that have been making content for a long time and or have a huge audience. On there, we have Sean from We Like Shooting. You guys have seen him here on the channel a few times. Mr. Guns and Gear, Guns and Gadgets again, Tactical Toolbox, VSO Gun Channel, and Kevin Dixie. We are absolutely stacked with amazing people on all of these panels, and it's going to be fantastic. Now, you can, of course, come to GunCon, see these guys in person, meet them, ask the questions in person. Tickets go on sale later this month, but like I said, you can also watch these from anywhere on Earth when we live stream them, and you can ask questions and maybe even win a prize while that's happening. And I had a bunch of people ask last week, tickets for this year's GunCon will be $50 a piece. Not only does that get you access to the event to see all the cool vendors, but it covers your lunch, and everyone will get an exclusive GunCon t-shirt this year, all for that same ticket price. You don't have to pay more for that. You will have a chance to win one of thousands of dollars in prizes just for coming to the event. Tickets go on sale March 26th at 6 p.m. Eastern.